The number one purpose of the Wealthy Habits training series is to teach you how to implement internal controls to protect yourself from embezzlement. This is Linda Burton, and in this Wealthy Habits module, we're going to talk about how to effectively build and retain the best team. The first step is hiring effectively. The second step is retaining who you have hired. In the hiring process, there are basically 5 steps: finding applicants, the initial interviews, personal reference checks, legal background checks, and then the final interview by you, the physician. There are many ways to find applicants: word of mouth, your local medical association, a staffing agency, or perhaps an internet job board. For the purpose of this training, let's say you have 4 possible candidates. Do an initial interview to simply weed out people that are not a good personality fit. Depending on the size of your practice, you may choose to delegate this. After this step, let's say you are left with 3 possible candidates. Invest a little time and personally call prior employers. This step cannot be delegated. You, the physician, will get a more honest and candid report than one of your employees calling one of their employees. You may ask why not skip this step and go straight to background check. Surprisingly, embezzlers can easily move from practice to practice. Physicians don't always take time to report wrongdoing to the proper authorities, and this means a background check could be a false positive. Why don't physicians report wrongdoing? Usually they feel it's an isolated incident and it's easier to just part ways. And sometimes they're just embarrassed to admit it happened to them. After your due diligence, let's say you eliminate 1 candidate. Now you are left with 2 possibilities. The next step is the formal background check. The cost is minimal and a great return on investment. Look for a company that will charge you only when you use them. There's no need to pay a monthly membership fee. Let's assume you got a green light on both candidates. Now it's time for the last step, which is the final interview by you, the physician. Even if you did the initial interview, bring them back. This final step helps you be confident in your decision. Another person will probably be training them, so take this opportunity to connect with the applicant and let them know your expectations firsthand. When they leave the interview, there should be no doubt in their mind that you are in charge of every aspect of your practice. There are a couple of asterisks when filling an office manager position. Don't assume that an existing employee with seniority should be promoted. Not everyone has managerial skills, and you don't want to set them up for failure. Managers need to have personal and financial stability. They need to have their own money in order to take care of your money. Before we talk about employee retention, let me tell you about the family practice doctor that did all the right steps and still hired an embezzler. He interviewed a lady that had worked for an OB-GYN friend of his for 14 years. When asked why she was leaving, she said she needed a change. He did his reference check and got glowing reviews. He hired the lady, and 2 months later, the friend called and said the FBI is on their way to your office. He discovered that over the past 10 years, she had charged hundreds of thousands of dollars to support her family and her horses. OB-GYN doctor had no internal controls and had given her full financial access, including a company credit card. After the FBI took her away from our family practice doctor, he found $10,000 cash in the top drawer that she had squirreled away in just 2 months. No internal controls here either. Had Wealthy Habits been in place, this would have been caught long before the FBI showed up. I'm telling you, this stuff really happens. Employee retention is critical to the stability of your practice. Studies show that the cost of replacing an employee is about 16% of their annual salary. Not only is finding and training new staff expensive and time-consuming, but you can never recoup the historical knowledge that an employee takes with them when they leave. Take care of your staff. In our Wealthy Habits training, you have learned how to structure the financial piece of your practice by implementing day, month, year internal controls. You can use this same philosophy with your personnel. Employees want and need structure. Here are a few suggestions. You set the tone for the day. That may be reviewing the schedule with the staff or just a simple good morning to your business office before you start clinic. Due to the nature of medicine, you interact closely with your nursing staff daily, but the business office can get left behind. This training is about letting the entire staff know that you are present and involved. I do recommend a monthly staff meeting at a time that you can hopefully attend. Your employees are in the day-to-day trenches, and they can provide valuable information about your practice. Staff meetings help diffuse situations before they become larger issues. Make sure you or your manager prepare an agenda to stay on track and help move through the important topics for the month. Yearly performance reviews need to be conducted by you and or your manager. This is a joint effort. If you don't do the actual verbal review, then take time to meet with your manager and go over each written review. Your input and understanding is important. You don't want to be approached by an employee about how disappointed they were with their review, and you have no idea what they're talking about. This documentation adds structure and also protects you and your practice in general. Simplify the process by doing all of your annual reviews the same month. I recommend June. If you do it at year-end, during the holidays, you just can't give it your full attention, and reviews are important to the staff. Show your appreciation throughout the year as well. A simple verbal "good job" or give a gift card. Believe it or not, these small things are what boost employee morale. You want your staff to love their job. The side effect of that is happy patients and great total care. Let's do a quick review. Set up easy-to-follow hiring procedures. Make note of additional criteria when hiring managers. Internal controls protect you should an embezzler slip through. Employee retention is critical to the stability of your practice. Take care of your employees and they will take care of you. And I want you to be involved. This is Linda Burton. Thank you for joining me. I will see you in the next module.